A lot of racist white people don't just want to give their opinion. They want to control what everybody else is allowed to believe. That's why they fight so hard over the media narrative. Not because they care about the truth, not because they're trying to be fair. A lot of times, they're trying to make sure black people never get to explain what happened to us without them jumping in to rewrite it. Because if you really pay attention, you'll notice a pattern.
Black people are not nearly as oppressed as they say they are, and don't get me wrong, I'm not denying that racism still exists today, though nowhere near as bad as it used to be. But when something doesn't go their way, watch how quick they are to pull the victim card. Like, oh, I didn't get the job because I'm black, I have to work twice as hard as a white person, it's just because they're racist. Like, no, they're not being racist, you're just pulling the victim card to avoid accountability instead of actually taking the blame. Maybe you didn't get the job because you're unprofessional and you talk and dress black. And don't even get me started, because you know exactly what I mean when I say that.
Whenever something happens to a black person, the conversation gets dragged away from what actually happened. Now it's about their attitude or their past. The George Floyd situation is a great example of this. They try to say he overdosed on fentanyl.
And disprove it right here. There's a fentanyl overdose.
Okay, so look, this is almost all my weight. Philip, can you breathe?
I can breathe.
You can breathe?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna bounce all my weight on you. Can you still breathe?
Yes, I can still breathe.
Okay, that is a fallacy. George Floyd died over fentanyl overdose.
I saw a clip somewhere that you were trying to get the officer who murdered George Floyd pardoned, and I just want to know what your reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
But he had his knee on his neck. And we all saw the video.
But the knee on the neck is actually an approved police technique that police departments taught Derek Chauvin to use. Do you know that George Floyd was saying, I couldn't breathe, well before that restraining technique? And
so why'd they use the technique if he already couldn't breathe?
Well, because he was actually resisting arrest, and they had to restrain him. And they restrained him in a way that they were taught to do, which is the knee on the neck technique.
Okay, so when does the technique end? Like when they die? Like he said he couldn't breathe.
No, I mean the technique ends when the individual stops resisting arrest. His cause of death was not asphyxiation; it was drug overdose. He had
that was a part of it. Like he also had a heart thing, and he was on drugs. But he wouldn't have just died if he was standing there. Like they had his.
Well,
their
actually,
knee on his
there's an
neck.
argument to be made. According to the medical examiner, he was drug overdosing in real time. That it wasn't because of the police officer, Derek Chauvin, that put his knee on the neck.
And that's where the control starts. Because the goal isn't always to prove black people wrong. Sometimes the goal is just to confuse the conversation enough that people stop paying attention to the main point. If they can make the story messy, people stop focusing on what actually matters. And here's where it gets worse. A lot of racist white people don't need their version to be true. They just need their version to be loud enough. That's why they rush to the comments. That's why they clip everything out of context. That's why they repeat the same talking points over and over again until regular people start repeating them too. Because once they control the first impression, they already shape the conversation. Now watch how this plays out.
But if you look at the stats, a black man is actually approximately 38 times more likely to murder a white man than a white man is to murder a black man.
Well, if they're coming in here bringing drugs and ruining my country, I don't want them here.
They do that less than white Americans.
Huh? That's
so
what I
should
believe.
we target white Americans more?
No.
But white Americans do more crime.
If you show me the proof, then
I'll show you proof right now. 69% of all arrests are white Americans.
there's no evidence.
This is the FBI's website. In 2019, 69.4% of all individuals who were arrested were white. Is that not evidence to you? 11,588 rapes were done by white Americans.
Here's the problem today, though.
Sure.
This is the problem. It's not about white or black. It's about we're all supposed to be one in America. That's what I believe. I think we're all should be one.
A black person talks about racism and suddenly the conversation becomes, why are they so angry? A black person points out a double standard and now people want to debate whether racism even exists. That's narrative control and manipulation. Because if they can make us look emotional, hostile, ungrateful, or dramatic, then they don't have to deal with what we're actually saying. They can dismiss the message by attacking the person that's saying it. And that happens all the time. A black person can be calm and they'll say that we're playing victim. A black person can be direct and they'll say that we're being aggressive. A black person can bring receipts and they'll say that we're playing victim. So what are we actually allowed to do? Because they clearly don't want an honest conversation.
I think Black Lives Matter had some sort of point about the justice system being racist in some way.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, absolutely not. I don't buy in systemic racism.
You don't think so?
At all. No.
Even just, marijuana usage. white and black people use marijuana at roughly the same rates across the country, but black people are arrested and charged at a 4 times higher rate. And this isn't their fault, it's because of a justice system that is tilted. What then happens is that black father is pulled away from their family at a disproportionate rate from white people. The child of that person is therefore affected, and it becomes a cyclical problem where this child doesn't have a father in the home because of the system. And then
I agree, it is cyclical.
And then
I absolutely agree.
this child
and
grows
it's because
up
the father's not in the home. And so that child's going to grow up and father children, and they're not going to be in the home. And it's going to continue and continue and continue.
This is what systemic racism is, though. It's a cyclical thing that's not the problem of the kid, or not the fault of the kid.
It is not created because of a bias.
You don't think there's
going to go off of that? No.
There's no bias in America when it comes to race. You don't think so?
You're not going to pigeonhole me into that.
And the media plays into this too. Look at the way certain stories get framed. The headline, the photo they choose, the words they use, the details they include. All of that matters because most people don't even read past a few seconds. They see the headline and keep it pushing. That's the part people miss. Media is not just information. It teaches people who to feel sorry for and who to be suspicious of. A white person does something terrible, and somehow the story still finds room for their mental health or their neighbors saying that they were a great person. But let a black person be the victim, and everybody starts digging for something to justify the bullshit.
You're not gonna sit there and flip me off. You flipped me off.
Sir.
You don't touch me. Do not touch me.
Sir,
you flipped me off.
A black husband.
I don't care. Why did you flip me off?
You are totally calling me
Karen.
something that I'm not.
Ma'am, don't touch it.
I don't understand.
Karen, are you okay?
I don't understand what happened.
Can you explain to me calmly?
No, because you're attacking me right now.
I'm not attacking you. Ma'am, you flicked me off.
You're ready to take it.
Guys, this is her license plate number. She lives here. This is her address.
No, this is not true.
And people act like that doesn't shape how the public thinks, but it absolutely does. A good example of this is how they treated Michael Jackson, especially towards the end of his life. But let black people tell the story ourselves, and suddenly there's a problem. Now we're race baiting or playing victim. But really, they're mad because they're not the only ones telling the story anymore. And that's what this is really about. They want to control what matters and what doesn't. But notice it only goes too far when it starts making them look bad. And that's the trick. They use balance to water down the truth, and they use context to excuse what's obvious. That's why independent black voices matter. Because when we speak for ourselves, they can't edit that feeling out. They can't make us sound confused about what we're seeing. Their whole system works better when black people have to wait for other people to explain our experience in a way that makes other people comfortable. But that time is slowly coming to an end. We're not stupid. We can see all of the little tricks y'all try to use. So when I say racist white people are desperate to control the media narrative, I mean exactly that. They want the power to shape what happened, who gets blamed, who gets sympathy, and what everybody remembers after the story fades. But the more black people that fight back against it, the harder that gets. United we stand, divided we fall. Love. I'm gonna make it up out of my city regardless if they gon' support me or not. I'm still driving that 04 Cadillac hoping that shawty gon' give me a shot. This ain't